Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining our final workshop of the morning. This one is going to be about the VoiceThread tool. Um, we've had VoiceThread integrated into our learning management systems for a long time, going back to Moodle days. Let me just get a sense of, um, have people used VoiceThread before or not? Let's see, is there a React button? If you've used VoiceThread before, do the little thumbs up React button. Okay. So just a little bit. What kind of reaction was that, Marie? Um, so VoiceThread is a tool that can be very useful for our online courses, but also is useful for our face-to-face courses as well. I like to think of it as the way I usually present it as a a collaborative slide deck where you can put various kinds of media, multimedia on the slides and have conversations about them. VoiceThread, I actually saw a new definition on the VoiceThread site this morning that I hadn't seen before. Considers it a personal virtual room that enables rich multimodal comments and conversations in a low stress and accessible format. So let me let me copy over the link for our outline for this morning. Um, let me start sharing my screen. It's over here. I see a lot of different ways that faculty can incorporate VoiceThread into their courses. I want to talk about those a little bit before we actually get into the nuts and bolts of what it looks like and how to work with it. Probably one of the big uses that a lot of our faculty do is for asynchronous lectures. It's a very easy platform for you to take a slide deck, whether it's PowerPoint or you download a PDF version of your Google Slides deck or whatever. You can upload that into a VoiceThread, and then there are really simple tools to record audio or video narration on each of those slides. You can also even, annotate, draw circles or arrows or, other annotations on the slides as you're talking. Um, those faculty who teach online, I mean, that's a very easy way to take, the kind of lecturing you would do in an on-site class and port it over to an online class. Um, I know a number of faculty who do that kind of thing when we have, um, when campus is closed during the winter for various storm days, but classes aren't canceled, are taken online instead. You can take the slides you are planning to talk through in class that day, quickly pop them into a VoiceThread, do the annotation, share them out. in a way that students can in turn make, add comments on to the slides, to ask questions back and forth or make comments. Also, if you're thinking about doing flipped classroom, you want to spend more time in the classroom doing, active engagement activities, group work, other kinds of activities in class, but you still need to be able to present content to students. You can, put that up into a voice thread, have the student require the students to watch the voice thread before class, and then come into class having pre-lectured the material to them, so that students can do whatever the learning activity is. I've talked with some faculty who have, as part of their instruction, that students are doing presentations over the course of the semester. And one faculty member in particular, I think in his class, or their class, I should say, um, the students over the course of the semester had to do like 3 presentations to the class. But they had the student do the first presentation as a presentation that they did in VoiceThread. So they put the slides together, uploaded them into a VoiceThread, did the narration in VoiceThread, and then during class, they actually just played their VoiceThread and were there then for the Q&A part. Um, and then that kind of prepped them, gave them the confidence for doing the regular in-class presentations for presentation 2 and 3. This is a format that makes it very easy to put up rich media. Could be images, could be video on each of the slides. That the slide with that media then provides um, a, a place where faculty and students can have back and forth conversations on them. I don't teach foreign language classes, but it could very easily, because of the oral commenting features, it'd be very easy to put up a voice thread with like 4 slides of small town life in Seville or whatever. Well, not so much a small town life in Mexico, right? And then if it's a Spanish class, have each of the students talk about the slides as audio comments on the slides, practicing their Spanish, talking about it. And then the faculty member can review those comments and provide feedback on their language. Basically, it's a really good storytelling kind of medium. And one point that the VoiceThread folks are making more and more is that, well, it's easy enough to get generative AI to create a discussion forum post that you paste into a discussion forum in your class. But having to actually talk, record your perspective, your observations in a voice thread is a more authentic way to engage students in this age that we're in. Okay. So pop over to um, before we pop over to Brightspace to look about how to link up your course with VoiceThread, are any questions about the kind of general ways you might use VoiceThread? Okay. So yeah, Maria, you're muted.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hi. I just wrote it in chat as well. I've been,
Oh, okay.
one of the reasons I popped onto this was because I'm doing one of those courses, others may be as well, like Phyllis, where you're asked to do in person and have an asynchronous component. So my question, I've been trying to think, of getting away from these like pretty horrendous hour and a half recorded videos of class where you're interacting with people and the kids at home really can't hear you. Can you do short videos of the lecture part of your class, put it into VoiceThread, and then do a slide that says respond to that last question in the video or something like that? Like, can you that when you're saying integrating media, is that potentially possible, or would you recommend another tool?
I mean, you could have a one slide voice thread where the slide just has and I don't know that I do a 15-minute
You do
recording.
it, you would do it even shorter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but the students can then turn on their microphones and record comments. But see, the thing about VoiceThread, it does not need to be synchronous. That could be done asynchronously.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean for the
Yeah.
asynchronous students. So I'm trying to think, how can I do better than just record what I do in class, which is not a satisfying experience mostly for async. I can get away with longer election because I'm very interactive in the class, but that does not translate to the at-home
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a general question.
So I mean, if you're going to do that, you might require all of your students to interact with that part of the video in the voice thread
Yeah.
and say, okay, well, we already covered 15 minutes of class time through this voice thread format.
Mhm.
Therefore, we're going 15 minutes shorter on our regular class session.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's it's all instructional. It's the same instructional time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think I got it, and I might follow up with you separately. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds good. So let me pop over to the sandbox I've been using for courses this morning, for workshops this morning. And just say, VoiceThread is one of these third-party external tools. It's integrated through the external tools functionality in Brightspace. So the first thing you will want to do is from your Brightspace course, create a connection to create a connection to a VoiceThread course space corresponding to your Brightspace course. So if I'll just go into a module I set up for the VoiceThread workshop here. Um, VoiceThread is connected to our Brightspace courses through this item in the existing activities menu. So below video assignment, below virtual classroom, there is VoiceThread. You select that, and the external tool connection between our Brightspace system and the VoiceThread platform will will take your authentication. I mean, Brightspace knows who you are, knows that you're logged in. When you select any of these VoiceThread activities, that identity will be passed on so that VoiceThread is now responding and knows, oh, hey, this is Keith Landa from Purchase. He's coming from this Landa Sandbox Course 3 course environment, and he's got instructor role on that. And so just to give you a quick um, rundown, here are the different kinds of VoiceThread activities you can add to your course. Uh, they put now assignment builder at the top because for setting up your students to interact with your VoiceThread, you're probably going to want to do that by building an assignment. But we'll go into the details of that later. You can also set up a connection from your VoiceThread course to allow students to view a specific VoiceThread that you have in your VoiceThread account. You can create a link to view your corresponding course at VoiceThread, or you can put in a link to the VoiceThread homepage. I always start with this because it's good to have a way to get into VoiceThread, to access your account with VoiceThread, knowing where you're coming from and that you're coming in as an instructor. So VoiceThread homepage is the simplest and what I would say the first connection you want to do. And when you select that option, you just have to give it a name for how you want to show up here in Brightspace. I'll say access your VoiceThread account here. And nothing else. I mean, you don't have to, there's nothing else for you to define in this connection. It's just, I'm basically opening up a pipeline from Brightspace to my VoiceThread account. And students, if you make this visible to students, students can use it as well to go from the Brightspace course to their VoiceThread account. So I'll publish it. It will then show up here as a topic or / activity in your Brightspace course. And the first thing I want to do is actually click on this link to go into my VoiceThread account so I can give you kind of an overview of VoiceThread if you're new to using the tool. This should open up connection to my VoiceThread account. I'm actually going to open it up into a full size tab. By default, it opens up in this embedded view. And so if I pop it open into a new tab, what you can see is here's my VoiceThread home. You can see the various VoiceThreads that I have created. Some of them going back to 2010. So we've had VoiceThread associated with our learning management system, as I say, way back into the Moodle days. Some of the things you see are you will, if you use VoiceThread and you use VoiceThread from different Brightspace courses, over time you will have accumulated a variety of course spaces at VoiceThread. So here I used VoiceThreads in my most recent course I taught last spring on my Mars course. I used VoiceThread a couple of summers ago when I taught my Search for Life in the Universe course, and other courses, again, going kind of way back. Clicking on any of the courses will pull up any VoiceThreads that have been just dumped into the course space. That's typically not the way I use VoiceThread, so there's actually nothing showing up here in this VoiceThread space. But, and I'll show you this in a minute, you could create a just kind of open class space for your course, and all of your students could share their could share individual voice threads into that space, as could you. So if you wanted a space where, if you wanted students to, um, create voice threads, not that they're turning in for any kind of assignment, but just to be able to share with each other so that they can, view. Maybe each student is doing like a 3-slide introduction to the place where they're doing their co-op. And you don't want that graded. You just want each student to be able to see, the description of every other student's co-ops. You could create a space like this where every student as well as you would have the ability to just add voice threads without being graded, without, anything like that. Anyway, if I go back home, I can hide this courses panel and go back to my home screen. I can see some of these voice threads. So here was, an introduction to the Mars course this last spring. Um, Let me go ahead and edit it to show you what a voice thread looks like. Again, it's got series of slides in it. In this case, these are just uploaded slide deck. And then on each of these slides, I have the ability to record a narration and draw on the slides as I'm doing so. Okay, so if I wanted to create a new voice thread, there's this little plus up here. And there's, different ways that you can get media onto these slides. You could, so Maria, you wouldn't have to upload a Teams recording. You could record, video right in VoiceThread. You can record an audio slide. You can, but the way most faculty will do it um, is have a slide deck, and then they want to just upload that slide deck from their device. So I'm going to select that option. And I've got, a quick 3-slide deck that I'm going to be using later on this afternoon and on Friday to do an orientation for Brightspace to students. Brightspace, VoiceThread will ingest either PowerPoint presentations or PDFs. So let's just go ahead and do the PDF. And it will upload that PDF. It will realize that there are 3 slides in it, and that went really quickly. Okay, so um, you can see the different slides. This button here allows you to comment on the slide, and there are different options that you can select here, but by default, there is the ability to record a video comment, an audio comment, or just type in a text comment. So I could do record a video. Sure, I shared my Welcome to set up. Give you a chance to preview it. And so, welcome to our orientation to Brightspace. I'm glad to see all of you new students here. Welcome to Purchase. We want to make sure that you are set up to be successful in your courses. So part of that involves, getting you oriented to Brightspace. And you can find Brightspace, here at brightspace.purchase.edu. Or if you go to the college website, head over to the student portal. Under the quick links menu, you'll see a link to Brightspace that will get you there. So I could preview that comment, think, well, I hate looking at myself, I hate listening to myself, but it is what it is. So click save, and then you can see that comment is being uploaded here. Now, current versions of Brightspace will allow nested comments. So if I share this with students, students could add their own original comment, but they could also play my comment and then reply to that, and it would show up as a nested response and so forth. So this is pretty straightforward way. You can upload your slide decks, you can narrate them, you can annotate them. You can give it a better title, Brightspace, Orient. Put a description on the VoiceThread, tags, etc. Save those changes. Each of the slides can have its own title. So you can add links. You can just add a title here. So forth. And you would just go through slide by slide and click on the add annotation. This time I'm just slide. As incoming
This time
I'm
I'm
not
just
going to
going to
preview
do
the
an
whole
audio
thing. I'm just going to
annotation.
save it, and it will then upload it. And you just go like that through your slides and create them. Your students can do the same thing. They have the ability to create their own voice threads. Again, if you want to set up an assignment where they have to create a voice thread on some topic and turn it into you, we'll look at that in just a minute. Okay. That's probably more voice thread than we need. I want to get back to the the Brightspace options. Again, we'll just work within this VoiceThread session module. Go to VoiceThread, add another VoiceThread activity. Again, you'll see all of the different things we've talked about. Adding a course space where you can all just dump in VoiceThreads without it being graded. If this is a good way to share. If you have created a voice thread on some topic that you want your students to view, there's a couple of different ways of doing that. You could just create a pointer, a link from your Brightspace course to the voice thread that you've created by using this individual voice thread. Again, you would see your available voice threads. You could select the one that you want to create the link to, say continue. You can even select individual slides out of a VoiceThread if you only want only want to send students to some of the slides. And then let me click continue and continue. And if you just want students to watch the voice thread and not comment on, you can unselect these things. But if you want to enable them to watch your video and comment on it, you can leave these selected. But maybe you want to be able to moderate the comments, and you can control playback. Start playing when the voice thread is opened so that students don't actually have to click the start. And click continue. Please watch this voice thread. The reason why I say please watch this voice thread is because this has not been set up as an assignment. VoiceThread is not going to monitor whether your students are actually watching this and watching it to the end. So if you wanted actually more control over that, no, that's not what I wanted to do. You could, again, create a VoiceThread activity, but this time go into the assignment builder. And now you have three main assignments, three ways that you can assign VoiceThread activities to your students. This watch is comparable to what we just did, but here you would again find a VoiceThread and select it and go through this whole process that we did before. But in this case, you're creating an assignment to watch this VoiceThread. And VoiceThread will only give credit on the assignment if students actually watch every slide in real time from the beginning of the VoiceThread to the end of the VoiceThread. And you can put instructions, attach instructions to the assignment, publish it. Both of these will link and allow the students to access and watch the same voice thread. But this is, hey, please go in and do this. This is an assignment. You got to do this if you want to get credit, and if you want that credit to be transferred from VoiceThread into the Brightspace gradebook. Just quickly, the other two assignment types that you can create under Assignment Builder are where comment is you create the voice thread and students have to watch it as part of the assignment, but they not only have to watch it, they have to make a minimum number, a required number of comments on the voice thread. So it's a little bit, it's like this watch plus. Probably more, not game changing, but more qualitatively different is you can set up a voice thread assignment where students are required to create their own voice thread and submit it to you. So, maybe you want them to do the metacognitive reflection on how things went in the course, and they need to put together some slides of that show off, different aspects of the work they did, and you require them to do an audio reflection on each of those slides, create that voice thread, and then they submit that voice thread to this creative voice thread assignment for you to grade as part of the grade in the Brightspace gradebook. So there are all sorts of specifications here. It has to be at least one slide, and so forth. I'll just click continue. Submit your course reflections here. Oh, and theoretically you need to put a date and so forth, all that. Let's see if I can get this published. Yeah. So, I think VoiceThread has a lot of potential for different kinds of ways of interacting with your students. Let me stop sharing so that we can, see screens. We have not necessarily been promoting VoiceThread over the last couple of years, but I think it's got some useful functionality that we would want to make sure we take advantage of. And so I'm going to try to promote it a little bit more this year. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to, at this point though, stop the recording. And